doing is everyone will grab a piece of chalk and we can just spread out around here. And I have a diagram of the brachial plexus as well as some mnemonics to remember what comes off of what chord. So if you guys just want to grab a piece of chalk, I'll grab one too. You can draw it as big as you want. And so the brachial plexus is going from C5 to T1. So it starts at the cervical vertebrae 5 or the cervical vertebrae 5's nerve, going down to T1. And don't forget that there's also a cervical spinal nerve 8 too, that comes underneath it. So what we're gonna do is you're just gonna draw so you'll start at C5 and then just keep going C6, C7, C8, and then you'll stop at T1. Because this just represents kind of the spinal nerves coming in. So that's how you'll start. And then after, what happens is you kind of make, between the bottom two and top two, you make like a V. So they attach. And C7 is kind of just on its own. It doesn't really attach to the other one, so you'll just draw a straight line. And there is a nerve that comes down here that you'll intersect between all of them. And that nerve is specifically called the dorsal scapular nerve. And it originally comes off of C5 and just keeps going down. And after that, this section right here is what we call nerve roots. And it kind of makes sense because it's the root of the brachial plexus. Like it's where it begins. So after that, what you're just gonna draw is just from here, a long line, from here, a long line, and from here, a long line. So you're only gonna have 3 what we call trunks. And it makes sense, superior, middle, and inferior trunk. So out of the 5 spinal nerves that start the brachial plexus, you're only gonna have 3 trunks of the brachial plexus. So it goes from 5 to 3. And you do have some nerves coming off of there, and he does want us to know them because I checked the sheet to make sure we had to know them. Off of C5, you have the suprascapular. So I'm just going to put supra. And as of right now, we can just draw the lines. And I can also attach this so we all know what nerves come off of where. So you're just going to have one coming off the superior trunk. And there is another one going to the subclavius, but I don't know if he wants us to know that one. But you just have one coming off of the trunks. So the trunks kind of stay clear. They're kind of just there. So that's superior, middle, inferior trunk. And then after that, what you're going to do is, this is where it gets kind of, things connect. So after the trunks, we have what are called divisions. And what happens is you have a line coming from here to here. You also have a line coming from here up to here. And then you have a line coming from your inferior to right here. So it kind of looks like an X with a little extension. And those are what's called your divisions. So it goes root, trunk, division. So these are roots, these are trunks, 1, 2, 3, and then these right here are your divisions. And they're usually divided into posterior, anterior. So this is like anterior because it's going forward. This one's posterior, and this one's posterior as well because it connects with the posterior. So the posterior kind of makes like a dome shape, where the anterior just goes one way. And then after that is when you start getting your spinal cords. So your like different spinal nerves coming off. And this is where I have some mnemonics to remember what branches come off of what cord. So these lines just continue. So what we consider like the trunks. So these 3 continue as cords. So there's 3 cords. You're just gonna extend. And what they are is your lateral, posterior, and your medial. So it goes lateral, posterior, medial. For these, it kind of, you're like, okay, it should be like posterior, anterior, middle, where it's kind of just, okay, lateral, posterior, middle, and medial, and they represent like where in the body they go. So this one goes laterally, this one goes posteriorly, and this one goes in the middle, in the medial. And for the lateral cord, the mnemonic I have is LML, which represents lateral pectoral, musculocutaneous, and lateral root. So off your lateral cord, you'll have your lateral pectoral, you'll have your musculocutaneous, which just is an extension, and then your lateral cord, or your lateral root, comes down here. It kind of crosses across your posterior. So you have L, M, L. And that's for your lateral cord. And then for your posterior cord, the mnemonic is ultra. You could do ulnar, but for me that kind of confuses it with the ulnar nerve. So it's ultra. And that is your upper subscapular, your lower subscapular, your thoracodorsal, your radial, which is just an extension, and these big ones kind of make sense because they're big ones. Like musculocutaneous is a big nerve. Radial nerve, big nerve. And then you also have your axillary, which is also a big nerve. So that's off of your posterior. Off your medial, it's M4U, which means there's 4 M's. So 4 M, like beginning M nerves, and then a U one. So you have, off your medial cord, you have your medial pectoral, medial cutaneous nerve of the arm, medial cutaneous nerve of the forearm, the ulnar nerve coming off of here, and then you have something that joins this lateral root, which is called your medial root, and these form what is known as the median nerve. So you have your lateral root and your medial root, which comes off your lateral cord, and your medial cord, forming your median nerve. So that's the brachial plexus. And so we could just draw like a little summary of it. But yeah,